It is time for the first update for Pan Those Eyeshadows in 2025. Now I'm so excited to update this project because I have two shades rolling out today, one with Pan and one I'm going to explain a little bit once we get into the video. So I do have a few rules that I like to go by in this project, and one of those rules is if something is rolled in that is very similar to something else in this project, I can roll it out. So I'm going to be using that rule today. But just before we do jump into the video, if you have not already, definitely like and subscribe. I upload every single day here on my YouTube channel. I love bright, fun, colourful makeup looks. I love project panning. I love get ready with me's. I love all that kind of stuff. Just sitting down, having a natter, talking about some makeup. So if that sounds like a good time to you, then definitely join our little family. I'm so excited because project panning in 2024 was abysmal. It was awful. We don't talk about it. But 2025 so far has been really, really good. I'm so excited to continue into 2025 because I've had amazing progress throughout Pan Those Eyeshadows, both my Pan That palettes, Project 10 uses, Project Pan, all of it. So I'm really, really excited to share the progress with you guys today. So I'm gonna jump into this video. I'm gonna start with a palette. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, that I left at home. But you will see a side-by-side because I will be filming the B-rolls tomorrow, so don't worry about it. This is the Revolution Circle of Life eyeshadow palette, and the shade that we were working on was the shade Throne. It is the blue shimmer in the middle of this palette, and before it was rolled into this project, it didn't have that much use on it. This is what it looks like today. I have used this 4 times over the past month, and hopefully you can see there is a little bit of a dip in this, which I'm really, really excited about. So, this is the palette. I feel so stupid, but I kind of have to film this today, so we're just gonna go for it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I literally was packing my bag last night, and I was like, I should pack that palette. I should put that palette in my bag now, before I forget, and then guess what happened? I forgot. So anyway, you've seen the before and after pictures. This is a really, really nice shade. I love blue. Blue is my happy color. I say that all the time. It has gone really, really well with my Pan That palette, which I will show you now. This is my Pan That palette. It's gone really, really well with the blues in here. It's gone really, really well with even the taupes in here as well, like a bluey taupey look. It's gone amazing. The quality is not great. Quality is not great. It's not very good really whatsoever, but I'm getting through it. I'm getting use on it, and so you know what, I really can't complain. It is something that, I mean, I'm not thrilled about. I'm not thrilled about this shade. However, it is a blue shimmer, and that is something that I actually asked the makeup gods for when we rolled in our shades last month. I said, please, can we have a blue shimmer? And I got not one, but 2. So can I really complain? Not really. However, I do think that these Revolution shadows are very shallow. So I'm going to continue working on this because I do have that little dip in there. I really think that we can get some good use on it. And I think hopefully maybe we can have pan on this next month. That's going to be my goal, to have pan on that next month. I will have this. I mean, I can't believe. Why did I even take it out my makeup bag? I don't know. But it's happened. It's done. I'm going to move on to something that I can talk a little bit more in depth about. So let's talk about a shade that I'm actually talking about, like comparing to that Revolution shade. This is from the Colourpop Blue Moon palette, and it is the shade Billie Jean, and as you can see, it is a blue shimmer. Now this is a little bit different in undertone to the shade Throne. However, is it different enough? I really don't know. This is what it looks like today. You're not going to be able to see any difference because I have not used this once. And it is because it is definitely competing with the shade Throne. Even though this is a slightly more denim, dusty colour, I will use these in the exact same way. So this is what Billie Jean looks like. It is definitely more grey toned. It's not as vibrant blue as Throne. However, again, I'm going to use this in the exact same way. I've not used this at all because if I'm going to reach for a blue shimmer, it's going to be Throne. And I just feel like this is too similar. Maybe it's not like identical, I understand that, but I just don't want to be working on two blue shimmers that I would use in the exact same way with the exact same shades. I just think it's going to butt heads, and it has butt heads because, again, for the third time, I've not used this at all this month. So I am going to be rolling this out. I have not, unfortunately, hit my usage goal. I have not hit pan on it. However, I'm sure you guys can agree, like, it's a lot. Even for me, who absolutely loves blues, I can only really work on one blue shimmer at a time, and so this will be rolling out. Again, really stunning. I hate doing it because I've always said I want to give the Blue Moon way more love. I want to be able to use it and enjoy it, and I want it to look loved. I want it to have loads of pans in it. So the minute that I have a moment to use it, I don't. And I find that so annoying, I know, but it is what it is. I have to say goodbye. And of course, the reason why That's Taupe shades are in here is because the other Blue Moon shades are in here. So if you're kind of wondering what's going on there, that's what's going on. So unfortunately, this is going to be rolling out with 0 uses on it. I feel really, really bad, but it's okay because we're going to move on to something else that has a little bit more use on it, which is amazing. So this is the Odin's Eye Silvery Bliss palette, and we rolled in the shade Reminiscence last month. So all 3 of these last shades have been randomly selected last month. And as you can see, it's a pretty deep grey tone. This is what it looks like this month. Hopefully you can see there is quite a bit of disturbance in this actually, and I'm really, really proud of this because I really did not think that this would have any use on it at all. I was so nervous rolling this in. Now, is there a massive dip? No. However, the little embossing is definitely worn away where I have been using it, and I have used this 4 times this month. This has gone really, really well with the blues in my Pan That palette and also in my Pan Those Eyeshadows. I've used them a lot together. I've also used this a lot with my That's Taupe shades, my actual taupe shades as well. I use this a lot more than I thought I would, and I'm really, really happy about that. So that is what it looks like swatched. It would have gone really, really well with Billie Jean, I already know, but again, just having so many blue shimmers, it's just not fair to myself, I feel like, so I'm not going to put myself through it. Something that I have been saying about project panning this year is if I'm not feeling something, I'm just going to roll it out. Last year, I forced myself to use everything that was rolled in. I forced myself to just grit my teeth and bear it. I'm not doing that this year. If something even slightly is I'm just going to roll it out, so that's what I'm doing. This shade is nice. I was nervous to roll it in as well because it's a very new palette, and I was like, do I really want to hit pan on a brand new palette? But you know what? Let's do it. I do know that Odin's Eye shades are pretty deep, so I'm gonna have to really get going on this month. I really do want to get a lot of use on it. I think I'll be able to get a pretty big dip in this by next month. I'm really, really gonna focus on things. I'm still in that not project panning mindset because I did have a month off project panning. So this month has been a little bit getting into it slowly, but February to March, it's gonna be a good month. It's gonna be a good project panning month. So I'm really happy about that. I will probably use this with maybe the silvery shade next to here. I think that would be a really cute look. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to continuing to use this and hopefully having some really, really good looks in the next month. And finally, this is actually a hand-chosen shade. The other 3 shades were randomized. This is my Book of Magic palette, and I have decided that this is going to be my focus palette for this project this year, which means I'm gonna hand choose 1 shade every month to really focus in on and to try and hit pan on. So last month I chose the shade Enchanted, and it is a really pale purpley pinky kind of shade, and I decided I was going to work on this first just to kind of get it done, because purples definitely aren't my go-to. This is what it looks like today. I have indeed hit pan on this, which I'm so happy about. I could not believe that I hit pan on this so quick. I used this 5 times, and as you can see, we did it. I've really been loving purples this month. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm wearing purples again today, but purples have been like go-to recently, which is crazy because I never ever reach for purples, but I don't know, this month has been the month, I guess. But now we've got another pan on this palette. The reason why I'm really focusing on this palette is because I would like it to be a pan that palette at some point, but I just think that right now, there's still way too much product in here. So if I can hit pan on everything this year, that would be amazing. And that would make it a really good pan that palette for next year. It's a really good starting point. So yeah, we have hit pan in 1 month. This did take a little bit of building up because it is such a light shade. But again, I'm really happy that I did hit pan on it, which means at the end of this video, I'm going to be hand choosing 1 more shade from this palette and also randomizing a shade from my main collection to roll back in to this project. But just before we do that, I do have some looks to share with you using the shades from this project this month. The first is this. This is actually identical to what I'm wearing today, pretty much. This was using the blues in my Pan That palette, and I also used the shade Enchanted from my Book of Magic palette, this bright light pink all over as my last transition. This is like eerily similar to what I'm wearing today. Can you tell what mood I've been in this month? Like, is it obvious? This was my last transition for these purples. I'm pretty sure I used like these purples, I think. I'm not too sure. And I also used the shade Throne all over the lid as well for the blue section. But of course, I don't have Throne physically with me to show you today, which we've been through it. I cannot believe I did that, but I did. I really like this look. I think it is so pretty. I mean, obviously, I'm pretty much recreating it subconsciously today, so there you go. Next we have this look. This is a blue halo eye. So I started with the shade Reminiscence, which is from the Odin's Eye palette. It is this super deep grey shade here that was on the very inner and outer corners of this look. Then I blended it all out with my Pan That palette, so the blues from the Blue Moon palette, and then on the middle of this look I did put Throne. So again, this is a 2 shadow look from this project. Really pretty. I do love my blues, of course. I love blues so much. But this is such a fun look. I really love looks like this. Next, I have this look. So this again, are we shocked, is a look with my Pan That palette. The outer part of this look is all of the taupes from the That's Taupe palette. And then on the inner part of this look, I decided to use the shade. I keep forgetting the shade name of this. Why? I've said it so much in this video. Enchanted. This shade Enchanted for like a taupe and purpley pinky kind of look. Not a colour story that I use regularly, but I actually really enjoyed these two together. So that was a really nice one as well. And I really have been loving pairing my taupes with my kind of colours that I have in this project. I feel like that's a super fun like exercise to do, and it gets used on both of my projects as well. And finally, I have this look. This again was using the shade Throne from the Lion King palette, and I did pop this just on the lower lash line, again with my That's Taupe palette, my Pan That palette. Again, I love using the Pan Those Eyeshadows and Pan That palette shades in conjunction with each other. I just find it so satisfying. And so this is the final look that I have to talk about today. I have been trying really hard to take pictures of looks. It is something that I was so bad at last year, but you know what, this year I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take loads and loads of pictures for you guys. I know you guys really enjoy it, but without further ado, let's get my Pretty Random app and let's randomize a new shade and let's pick a new shade from this palette. I think I know what shade I'm going for with this palette, but I could have my mind changed. So I have between 1 an 845. I have 845 eyeshadows in palettes and as singles. So last year I did like one random shade from a palette, one random shade from a single eyeshadow, all that kind of stuff. This year I've just thrown them all in one spreadsheet. I get what I get. If I get a shade that already has pan on, that's going to be an expand your pans kind of thing, and I'm going to just use that shade 20 times to expand that pan and get more use on it, because I have found that when I hit pan on shades, they often just go and get neglected, and I don't want that. So let us roll our new shade. We have 613. Let me go and see what that shade is, and I'll be right back. Okay, you know what? I think I've had my mind changed about the Book of Magic. Let's jump into this new shade. This is a very, very new palette. This is my Norvina Volume 6. I got this either at the very, very end of last year or at the very, very start of this year. And the shade that was picked, if I can open it, is the shade B4, which is this teal here. I'm so excited to work on this. I have said that I really need to use this palette more, and again, the makeup gods were like, you know what, we've got you, girl. That is what that shade looks like. That is so pretty. It felt so smooth to the touch as well. I'm a little bit nervous because this palette is huge and I've only used this one time, so I'm very nervous and excited to get some use on that. I can definitely foresee myself pairing it with this yellow, maybe some of these pinks as well. This shade, like both of these deep shades as well, could be really, really good companions for this. So I'm really, really excited. Okay, well, that's given me a lot to think about. I was planning on rolling in Crystal, which is this like green to brown duochrome. I rarely use this. This is definitely my least used shade in the Book of Magic palette, and that is what that one looks like. And my thought process was it could go really, really well with my taupey neutral shades in this palette. Like, what do you think? However, now that we have this, I could roll in this, which is the shade Spell. That is the shade Spell, and that is the shade, I mean, it's gonna have to be Spell. I'm sorry, it's gonna have to be. They go so well together. Look at that. They also could go really, really well with this charcoaly grey shade as well. If I start with that and blend it out with this teal matte, and then put this teal shimmer on over the top, that could be so fun. So I'm sorry, Crystal, you are still neglected. R.I.P. Sorry. I could also use like Wish with them as well. That could be good. Try and get like 2 pans in one. That'd be amazing. I'm really, really excited about that. Very, very good choice. I was adamant I was going to roll in Crystal, but the makeup gods said, no. So what do you think of my new colour story? What do you think about me rolling out Billie Jean? I know that some people will be a little bit annoyed at me for that, but you know what? It's my project. I can do what I want. So I'm going to do what I want. I hope you're all not too mad at me. What do you think? I'm so excited for this. Definitely check back next month to see my progress. Do you think I'll have pan on anything? Let me know all your thoughts down below. But with that being said, this is where I'm going to love you and leave you today, guys. Have an incredible day, and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye bye.